The world is changing, not only the world we live in, but the world we live on.
New study this week in the journal Nature found mountain glaciers are melting more than twice as rapidly as in the early 2000s. They lost more than 600 billion tons of ice in 2023 when national environmental correspondent David Schechter visited Svalbard, Norway.
If you didn't think we were at the end of the world, well, we're going to go a little bit farther now.
As the ice patches and glaciers in the mountains of Norway slowly melt due to the effects of climate change, the past is beginning to emerge from the ice.
This is a phenomenal place of natural beauty. The tragedy is it's disappearing before our very eyes.
Ancient Viking artifacts, once lost and hidden in the snow and ice, are now being revealed. These discoveries, many of which have been frozen for millennia, offer a glimpse into a long-forgotten past and tell a story about the people who once traversed these harsh landscapes. This area, which was once the site of an important Viking pass, is now becoming a key archaeological treasure trove.
Well, millions of tourists travel to Alaska every year to marvel at its wildlife, national parks, and of course, its glaciers.
But most of those glaciers are shrinking fast. Wendy Gillette has more from Glacier Bay National Park in Alaska.
The LBR ice patch, located in south-central Norway, is one of the most significant sites for these discoveries. At an elevation of around 1,650 meters above sea level, the ice patch was once a crucial route for Vikings traveling between the inland and the coast. It's here, in the remnants of the ice, that researchers are finding a wide variety of artifacts, some as old as 6,000 years. The ice patches in this area have been melting at an alarming rate over the past few decades, revealing objects that were once thought to be lost to history.
Digging here absolutely spoils you for doing archaeology anywhere else. The fact that we're finding wood, basketry, like no one else had found 400-year-old basketry and ropes before, so that's absolutely incredible.
The researchers working in this region have observed firsthand the dramatic changes in the ice.
Lindbred is an extraordinary place, and that's mainly because of it's been a traveling route over the mountain pass. We are now at the top. We know that there had been a route here, at least from 200 AD, and with a lot of transportation in a Viking age. But after that, this route was forgotten.
A local archaeologist recalls the first time he visited the site back in 2006. At that time, the ice extended all the way to where he is standing now. But in just 18 years, the ice has receded by about 200 to 300 meters. It is estimated that roughly 70% of the ice patch has melted away during this period. This rapid melting is largely attributed to climate change, with warmer temperatures, more rain, and increased humidity, all contributing to the rapid disappearance of these ice patches.
Finally tonight, how climate change may be affecting life in Alaska as we know it, and the captivating images we see there, from ice to marine life. NewsHour science correspondent Miles O'Brien went there to see for himself.
The ice that once served as a natural freezer, preserving these artifacts for thousands of years, is now vanishing. And with it, the opportunity to learn more about the past. The objects that have been found in the melting ice are incredibly well preserved, having been frozen for centuries. One of the first discoveries during a recent fieldwork session was part of a reindeer hunting tool, a type of mobile fence known as a scaring stick. This object had been lying in the ice for perhaps 1,500 years, only to melt out in the past few days or weeks. The sheer age and preservation of these objects are remarkable. The freezing temperatures essentially acted as a time capsule, preserving them in mint condition. This presents a unique opportunity for archaeologists and historians, as it is rare to find artifacts that have been so perfectly preserved over such long periods. The LBR ice patch has proven to be an extraordinary sight, not just because of the preservation of the artifacts, but also due to the role this area once played in transportation and trade. Historical evidence suggests that this route was used as far back as 200 AD, and it was a major passageway for Vikings. The Vikings, who are known for their seafaring and raiding expeditions, also relied on these mountain passes for travel and trade. Now, many of the artifacts being found, such as iron bits for horses and preserved bridle parts, provide new insights into Viking life and their use of these mountain paths. But the discoveries don't just stop with Viking-era artifacts. The ice patches have revealed items from earlier periods as well, including objects dating back to the Stone Age, Bronze Age, and Iron Age. In fact, the site has become one of the most valuable archaeological locations in Europe, offering a continuous record of human activity over 6,000 years. This offers a window into the daily lives of ancient peoples, including their hunting practices, transportation methods, and interactions with the environment. Among the most remarkable finds are the best-preserved pair of skis ever discovered, dating back over 1,300 years. These skis are in such good condition that they are the oldest known examples of their kind. Additionally, shoes from the Viking Age and the Bronze Age have been found, including some that appear to be influenced by Roman fashion, highlighting the broad scope of cultural exchange that took place in this region. These finds not only shed light on the Vikings, but also reveal the broader historical context of their time, showing how they were connected to other cultures through trade and travel. For the archaeologists working at the site, each new discovery is an emotional experience. As they comb through the ice and uncover ancient objects, there is a deep sense of awe and excitement. The team is well aware that they are racing against time. The window of opportunity to save these artifacts is rapidly closing, as the ice patches are expected to disappear completely in the next 20 to 40 years. Given that these ice patches have been around for 7,000 years, the speed at which they are melting is unprecedented. This loss of ice also carries with it the potential loss of history. As the ice recedes, more and more artifacts will be lost forever. The team works diligently to rescue what they can, carefully bringing each find down from the mountain and transporting it to the museum in Oslo for further analysis. The goal is to preserve these items for future generations and ensure that the stories they tell are not lost to time. One of the most significant findings was a complete tunic, dating back over 1,700 years. This tunic is the oldest known garment in Norway, providing valuable insight into the clothing worn during that era. Over the years, the types of artifacts being discovered have evolved. While the early finds were mostly from the medieval and Iron Age periods, increasingly older items have begun to surface, indicating the long history of human activity in this region. For the researchers, these discoveries are not just about unearthing ancient objects. They are about reshaping our understanding of history. These finds offer a new perspective on the importance of the mountains and ice patches in ancient times. The evidence suggests that these routes were much more than just travel corridors. They were vital to trade, cultural exchange, and survival. Now let's turn our attention to Alaska, where another shocking discovery has been made. A giant black pyramid is said to lie buried under Alaska's frozen ground. Some say it is even bigger than Egypt's Great Pyramid. According to rumors, the U.S. government built a secret lab inside it. But the government has never confirmed the pyramid exists. Doug Miller, a former counterintelligence agent, first heard about it in 1989. He was stationed at Fort Richardson, near Anchorage, and studied old maps. One map showed an area marked "Not Surveyed" in a mountain range. His training told him that blank spot meant something was hidden. But security rules stopped him from digging further. In 1992, China set off a very large underground nuclear bomb. Instruments in Alaska felt the blast. A local TV station said the shock waves had revealed the outline of a huge pyramid underground, 70 feet taller than Giza's. The next night, the station gave no follow-up. When Doug went to ask for the tape, the manager denied any report had aired. A junior reporter quietly told him that 2 men had come in and taken the tapes. That convinced Doug someone was covering it up. In 1993, Doug visited Fort Meade, Maryland, to search military archives. He asked for files on any strange structures in Alaska. An archivist showed him a heavily redacted folder labeled Alaska. As Doug opened a drawer to lift the folder, 2 men in plain clothes appeared. They told him he wasn't allowed to have the papers, grabbed them, and escorted him away. Doug realized the government was hiding something big. Nearly 20 years later, Doug contacted Linda Moulton Howe, an investigative journalist known for UFO work. She called anyone who might know about the Dark Pyramid. After many dead ends, an anonymous source on the East Coast got in touch. He said the pyramid really existed and was still active underground. That led Linda to another tip. A man said his father, an electrical engineer, worked on a top-secret project from 1959 to 1961. His father helped install power lines inside the pyramid. He later joked that electric bills could be free if people knew the pyramid's secret. Afterward, he joined AT&T, but never spoke much about the pyramid until late in life. Bruce L. Pearson shared a third story from his father, a retired U.S. military pilot. In the mid-1970s, his father moved to Alaska to teach. One day, 2 old military friends invited him on a helicopter trip. Once in the air, the helicopter's instruments failed. Radar blinked out, alarms sounded, and radios cut off. The men blamed strange magnetic forces from the pyramid below. They landed on a clearing with old mining shafts. Men in unmarked suits took cargo from the helicopter and loaded it into a jeep. They drove off without a word. The helicopter's log made no mention of what happened. But Pearson's father never forgot the trip. These stories, mixed with rumors of secret bases and UFOs, gave life to the legend of Alaska's Dark Pyramid. Exploring such a site is hard. The wilderness is vast and cold. Still, a few teams keep looking for proof. Linked to this is the Alaska Triangle, an area between Juneau, Anchorage, and Barrow, where many people have vanished. One famous event happened on November 17, 1986. Japan Airlines Flight 1628, a freighter, flew from Iceland to Anchorage. The crew saw 3 UFOs that followed them for almost an hour. The objects showed up on the jet's radar, FAA radar, and Air Force radar. They moved far faster than any known plane. Captain Kenju Terauchi, a pilot with 29 years of experience, said the biggest object was as large as an aircraft carrier. He dived the plane 4,000 feet and turned in a full circle to shake it, but the objects matched every move. After landing, the FAA interviewed the crew separately. Everyone gave the same clear story. No signs of instrument errors or crew mistakes were found. Yet the FAA closed the case and classified most data. John Callahan, who led the FAA's investigation unit from 1981 to 1988, says he was then called to brief White House, CIA, and Defense Department officials. They decided to keep it secret to avoid panic. The CIA seized the original recordings and radar logs, though Callahan kept copies. Rumors of cover-ups continue with NASA. Former contractor Donna Hare says UFOs were removed from space photos before the public saw them. Analyst Carl Wolf claims NASA found man-made structures on the moon, but was ordered not to share the findings. These tales make people think top agencies hide big truths. In the early 2000s, British hacker Gary McKinnon broke into NASA and Defense Department networks. He wanted proof of free energy tech. He says he found a file listing non-terrestrial officers and images of a smooth, dome-topped craft with no seams. the U.S. tried to extradite him, but he avoided it on a technicality. His case shows how much the public wants transparency, especially if such tech could fight climate change and energy shortages. Beyond Earth, some scientists hunt for signs of life in space. The SETI program listens for radio signals from alien worlds. Breakthrough Listen, active since 2016, scans 1 million nearby stars and hundreds of galaxies. Last year, it opened a new center in Oxford, backed by top universities. Still, the Dark Pyramid legend brings the mystery home. If real, the pyramid is a physical proof of advanced tech or a lost culture in our own backyard. The ice, rock, and cold make it tough to explore. But the stories from Doug, Pearson, and others keep people searching. Theories vary. Some say the pyramid is a natural formation. Others believe it's a Cold War bunker. A few think it was built by an ancient civilization. Each idea keeps us wondering what's really under Alaska's ice. In June 2023, former intelligence officer David Grush told the debrief that the U.S. has recovered non-human spacecraft for years. His claims led to a congressional hearing and the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Disclosure Act. The first draft of that bill would have set up an independent board to review UAP files, give witnesses immunity, and let the government seize alien artifacts. The final version only created an archive run by the same agencies that have held the records for decades. Senator Chuck Schumer called it a step toward openness, but said he was disappointed the independent board was dropped. Critics say the watered-down law just fuels more mistrust. Congressman Glenn Grothman warned that without real checks, public trust in government will keep falling. Psychologist Daniel Stubbings of Cardiff Metropolitan University studies the mental toll of UAP encounters. He found witnesses often suffer anxiety, sleep problems, and social stress. He argues that if UAPs are just misidentifications or hoaxes, agencies should investigate openly. Secrecy only feeds fear and wild theories. In 2021, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence released a report on UAPs. It covered 144 incidents from 2004 to 2021, mostly reported by military crews and tracked on radar. It included 3 declassified videos of fast-moving objects with no clear engines. The report said it didn't know what the objects were but showed UAPs are taken seriously at the highest levels. Even as space programs search for aliens, the Dark Pyramid reminds us that some mysteries lie right beneath our feet. Whether it's an energy source, a Cold War holdover, or a monument of a lost culture, the pyramid keeps us guessing. Expeditions still plan new trips, and pressure grows for more openness on UAPs and other secrets. Until someone digs it up, the Pyramid of Alaska will stay one of our planet's greatest questions. Now let's shift to Antarctica. Antarctica is bigger than the United States and Mexico put together, yet we know almost nothing about what lies under its thick ice walls. Today, it looks like a vast white desert, but 71 million years ago it was warm and green, with forests, lakes, and dinosaurs roaming where ice now dominates. In 2016, scientists on James Ross Island found dozens of fossil bones aged between 67 and 71 million years. Most came from duck-like birds, but they also uncovered remains of the huge sea reptile Mosasaurus. These fossils show that long before the ice arrived, Antarctica was full of life. Jump ahead to 1985, and researchers discovered a human skull on Yamata Beach, in the South Shetland Islands. It dates from the 1820s and likely belonged to an indigenous woman from southern Chile. She may have been one of the first people ever to land in Antarctic waters. That find reminds us that humans reached these shores nearly 200 years ago. even though most maps simply showed endless ice. Not far from Erebus is Blood Falls, where bright red water pours from Taylor Glacier. The color comes from iron-rich salt water trapped under the ice. The salt keeps the water liquid even when temperatures dip below -17 degrees Celsius, 1 degree Fahrenheit. When the iron in the water hits the air, it rusts and turns red, creating an eerie waterfall that looks like blood. In the middle of Antarctica, deep inside the ice, a strange place has been found. It sits in a giant hole surrounded by tall walls of ice. In the center, there is a perfect circle filled with water. 4 paths lead out from the circle, connecting to a large building that looks old and worn. The way the paths and circle are made looks too perfect to be natural. Pieces of broken ice float nearby, making it seem like something moved through the area not long ago. Some people think this could be a hidden base that has been kept secret for many years. Others believe it might be the remains of an ancient group of people who once lived there. No one knows for sure. But seeing something this big and carefully built in such a faraway place makes it clear that something important might be hidden under the Antarctic ice. From ancient fossils and early human remains to buried mountain peaks and glowing volcanoes, Antarctica hides more secrets than any other continent. Red waterfalls, striped icebergs, lonely ATMs, and strange sea creatures all show that even the coldest place on Earth is alive with mystery. Each summer, as some ice melts, new slices of this hidden land appear, waiting for scientists to explore. Behind that frozen wall, a hidden world waits to be discovered. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below, and subscribe to our channel for more content.